Hello, today I thought we'd do an art journal page, but in my vintage journal. So I've got some distress ink, Victorian velvet and a sponge, and I've already inked this page up because I think if I don't you'll be watching me inking it up forever. So the initial image that I decided to use was just out of a magazine. My husband gets Antiques Trades Gazette, and this was a picture of a picture, and I've just mounted it on some stronger card just so it gives it a bit of a backing and a bit of a frame, and I thought she would probably go about there. So I picked up this pink here, but this picks the blue up as well. I'll probably ink the edges of this, and then I might actually give it a bit of texture as well. But that ties it all in, so I'll pop her over there for the moment. So to protect my other page, I shall pop this just a laminated sheet in, and then I am just inking up very randomly all the way around the edges. I've gessoed this bit of the page, and you can see the gesso resists the ink, so you can see definitely where the gesso is and isn't, and it goes a lot paler. This is just normal distress ink in Victorian velvet. This is a lot paler where the gesso is, because the gesso acts as a resist, as I say. So that's that one done, and then I'll do this quite a lot more here. You don't have to be very precise, and if you put your hand on it, as you'll see, you get finger marks. So I don't particularly want the finger marks, so I'll go over the edges. I hold it with my nail. Oops. I've got a little bit of a bit down the middle, but that doesn't matter. The ink on my fingers. Right, so that's inked up. I can't decide whether I want any extra texture on it. I might do. So I've got distress ink in a vintage photo and a crackle stamp, which is indigo blue one, so I'll just ink that up. And when she goes there, I'm going to put some paper here and across there, so this corner and this corner will be lacking in interest. So I'll just put my sheet back again and just randomly put a bit of stamping across that edge. And then move her out of the way. I think we might manage this one without covering it. I'm just giving it a bit more interest, going up to there. So that's got a bit more interest there. I might actually go a bit further in. That's it. A little bit further in there. So it looks as if it's, and it's a very gentle touch, otherwise you get big blocks. And sometimes you can hardly see it, but it is there. So that's that. Right, so that was vintage photo. Now I have cut a couple of templates just so that I know the size of my page that I want to put the pieces over. Then I aren't going to waste a lot of paper. I've got a really pretty shabby chic paper here that ties in with the colours of my lady. So I'm going to just randomly, saying randomly, I've got this template, so I'll just mark where I start and where I finish, more or less, and I'm going to tear so that I've got a jagged corner. So I need to tear it so that I don't get much of a torn edge of white showing. You can tear from both sides, but you pull in the paper backwards, because then you won't get much of a white edge. But a little bit, but I can just tear that off. So that is going to go there. So I've got a bit too much in the middle, so I'm going to just take a bit more off. And don't get rid of these pieces, because you can do things with those later. So that's going to go there. And then need one at the other side. But I want this to be smaller, so I'll just tear. And it does make it easier going across corners. I've got a bit of an edge there, so I'll just put a bit of pink on it, which is quite pretty, and ties in. Again, ties it in. I might put a little bit of brown as well around the edges, so it looks as if it's belongs. Yeah, a bit of brown just makes it look a bit more vintage. But you can actually put the brown and the pink mixed together. It makes it a little bit more. Sorry if this video is very contrasty, the sun's come out again. So that is going to go there. And that one will go there when I've done the brown edge bits. So you see it sort of looks as if it's a torn page. So again the brown. That was a bit much, but anyway. It's just a damp cloth, it just takes it off. Because this is fairly heavyweight cardstock, you can actually take some of the colour off by just doing it with a damp cloth, so it's water reactive. Yeah, that's a bit better. So that looks as if it's about right for there. Now, when I said don't get rid of your little bits, what you can do is ink your little bits up, and they can look as if it's another layer without actually using a lot of paper. So this little bit I could stick under there, and it would look like another layer of paper. There's some blue on there left, and there's a nice patch of blue here. So what I'm going to do is just tear some of the blue off, and then I need a torn edge. So tear some sections, fairly long sections of the blue. Like that. I don't know which side's going to go where yet, and so can you see it looks like it's another layer of paper, but it isn't actually. It is just a scrap of paper. I think that's not blue enough. So that will look like another layer of paper. So I need to ink these edges up again. Vintage photo. Vintage photo. Bit of the pink just to tie it in a bit more. Don't forget to put it back down on the side where it's going rather than just randomly. That's that. So that one will go under there and that one will go under there. So the easiest way of doing this is to get your glue. Put a little bit of glue, that's possibly too much, along that edge. You can spread it out with your finger. And then that's it. Then you can glue that there. To this layer. So then you aren't having to guess where to glue it on your page. I'm going to do the same again with this one. The thing to remember is make sure that your edges, the end bits, are tucked underneath, not out, because if they're out it looks as if it is another piece just sort of stuck underneath rather than a full layer. So you've got your two pieces there. She is going to go on this page, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tuck her underneath so she looks as if she's part of the page. And it's a fairly simple page, but I'll then have a look at my sheet and see if there's anything I can fussy cut out. Maybe some of these little roses and put those just coming from behind the main photograph. Maybe even put some of those roses across there. So I'll glue those on. It is a very simple page, but it's quite effective. What you can do also, if you want, I'll do this so that I can show you, is to leave one edge, the torn edge, free with no glue, because then it acts as a pocket and you could put a little tag or something in there, just tucked in. So I'll put glue on the other side, along there and along there and there, but I've left that bit free. So say this was a tag, you can have a little tag in there. So I'm going to glue her on next because she wants to be, right, I was going to distress the edges, wasn't I? Just a little bit, I think. Go with the torn edges of everything else. And you know how to do this. This is just see, that's better with a bit more texture. That's what I want. A few more rips and scuffs and everything. I tend to, when I'm doing this, hang on to the image firmly, and then you're less likely to go right into it because your thumb stops it. That's it. And I'm going to glue her on there. You could use foam pads if you wanted, but she's going to go just there. Line her up. So you see this interest, it's less boring now that it's just got that bit of crackle, and that echoes that. So it all looks quite vintagey themed. She'll take a little while to glue. A little bit more underneath there. And then I don't want to make have anything in a pocket in this one, so I'll glue it all the way around. So that's it. So that looks quite nice. Just wondering if I could do with a bit of something tucked underneath there. Yeah, that would look quite nice. I could put a little bit of something tucked under there. That's one of these torn scraps. I think it needs to be a bit browner on the edge. So that can't just go underneath there. So I've left that edge up a little bit. I can't actually tuck things under. So that's more or less my page done. I think I'll probably add some words and some fussy cut bits and pieces. But you don't want to sit and watch me fussy cut roses. So what I'll do is I'll finish it off and then I'll put a picture on the Facebook page or at the end of the video. Okay, so that's nice and simple. Thank you, ladies.